All right, BradCooney.com would like to welcome to the show R&B soul artist from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Damany.
Yes.
What's up, brother?
How are you doing, sir? How you doing, Brad?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. It's another day. Can't complain. Everybody has their problems. Just got to figure out how to deal with yours.
Yeah, man, 100%. All right, so before we get into your latest single, tell my listeners out there a little bit about you, like when and how it all began for you as far as music. How old were you? How did it all get started?
Wow. I was actually 10 years old when I figured out I could sing. This is actually fourth grade. I'll never forget this. This story is kind of funny to me, at least.
Yeah, let's do it.
In elementary school after lunch, I was the first one back in class, and just being silly, and I just started singing the singing group Shy. Mm-hmm. And if I started to sing.
Oh yeah.
Then I was like, wait a minute, that sounded kind of good there. Like,
mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. So ever since then, just started to explore with it and started to it was the beginning of something beautiful. So
nice.
10th grade, when I was 10.
So fourth grade. So I want to walk you through up until the point where you really took it serious and got in the recording studio. So like when you were in school, in grade school, like you just said, you were in fourth grade, and you discovered you had a nice voice. So how did it progress from there? When you went did you get into talent shows in high school and maybe choir or any kind of musical classes, things like that?
All of the above. I'm gonna another funny story because it's funny to me. After I figured out I could sing, fourth grade, fifth grade came around, and I wanted to join the talent show.
Yep.
Now, granted, at the time, I was still discovering, R&B and stuff like that, and the only song that I knew was TLC's Red Light Special. At
okay.
the time, I'm like 10, 11, right?
Yeah.
So it came audition, and they're like, "Oh, what do you want to sing?" So I started singing. I was getting into it, so I was like, "Take a good look at it,
yeah,
and look at it." And I had all the the stage presence, everything. Then I started singing the whole verse. I might let you touch it. And he cut me off, whoa, because he's trying to see, how far. I know. He's like, touch what? And I was playing dumb. I was like, I don't know. I'm just singing the song. I don't know. But,
That's funny.
Of course, he didn't allow me to sing the song.
Right.
I was like, no, you cannot sing that song. Don't you know any other song? And so fifth grade, it was a no-go. I was crushed because he wouldn't allow me to sing TLC.
Yeah.
But then, to finish answering your question, I started taking it seriously after I learned that I could sing, and I went to middle school for the performing arts and high school for the performing arts. And around the time with the whole TLC thing, my favorite group that I gravitated towards the most was Boyz II Men. They got me started with everything. I actually bought 3 of the Boyz II Men 2 albums. That's how much I love them.
Yeah.
And just study them because I had a similar voice texture to them. Like, I heard Jodeci, but I'm like, they're pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I'm not a bad boy, and I can't relate to what they're singing about.
Yeah.
But I did respect them, and I started to do more research on them and realized how great they were. But I related more to Boyz II Men and 112 because they're clean cut. We had similar voice textures. I'm like, you know what? I'll stick to these 2 groups right now.
Yeah. And Boyz II Men really put acapella on the map, as far as mainstream, radio station type stuff. Super talented. I'm a big fan of theirs as well. So that's no surprise that you also enjoyed their music.
Right. And they opened me to Babyface because obviously Babyface wrote a lot of their hits. So started to look into Babyface and different type of artists that are similar to me. Because again, Babyface is not a bad boy. He's clean cut, soft voice, articulate. So I just started to gravitate towards artists that reminded me of me. So long time, right?
And Babyface also is a brilliant producer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of people, if they're not really tuned into that genre of music, they heard of him because of his hit songs back in the 90s and the 80s and things, but some people don't realize how brilliant that guy is as far as producing music.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people, because, I'm a nerd, I'm a music nerd, so I like to study the greats that my role models, like for example, Boyz II Men and 112, Jagged Edge, Drew Hill, all of them. I like to study who they liked. So even Babyface, people don't realize he got famous in the '90s because he became more of an artist step in front. But he was big in the '80s. Like he produced so many stuff in the '80s.
Yeah.
And written for many groups in the '80s.
Yep.
And he met L.A. Reid in the '80s before he started LaFace. So, and he's the one that I'm sure I'm on my nerd side when it comes to music, but the group After Seven, that's with his brother. They have the best record deal in music history because they didn't even audition. They literally went to the record labels they're like you're good. You don't need to audition. You're good. What?
Wow.
Because of it was crazy when I was watching their on song. I was like, wow, that's every artist's dream. Like, yeah, you don't need to audition. You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
because Babyface already knew how good they were.
It's the holy grail of record deals.
No, you're good. You're good. It's okay. Like, come on in.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. There's so many cool backstories too when it comes to like musicians and music, and it's fun when I do these podcasts when I talk to different artists of all genres. And some of them are independent artists. Some of them are. I've had Grammy Awards on this show too, Grammy Award winning, and all different. What I love about doing this show is I talk to so many different walks of life, whether it's hip hop, rock, jazz musician, producers, even like NASA personnel. I had the engineer that actually built one of the Mars rovers on my show like 8-9 years ago. Just all over the spectrum, and I love to hear the backstories of musicians and all these people. It's just cool. It's a great conversation. Plus, you learn so much about people you had no idea. Like I didn't know some of the stuff you just told me about Babyface. It's pretty good stuff, man.
Oh yeah, like he's amazing. Like I like to because I'm a songwriter, of course, just like a lot of the artists you interview. But at the same time, songwriting is a craft, and especially when you do it by yourself, people don't realize sometimes one song is like 4 songwriters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, but unfortunately for independent artists like myself and many of the artists you interview, we have to do it ourselves. We have to take our time and structure the song the way we want. So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time because it's just to you, more or less.
There's a rock band called Quiet Riot. Have you heard of that band, Quiet Riot? They're a rock band. They were really popular back in the 90s. They had a song called Come On, Feel the Noise and Mental Hell. They had a couple really big hits. I had their drummer on my show about 1.5 years ago, and God rest his soul, he passed away from cancer not too long ago. But he was telling me their first record, the record was called Mental Health, and it went top 10. It sold a ton of records back in the late 80s, over 1 million records. But the cover of it had a guy in a straitjacket with one of those like a crazy mask on his face, and in the background it had like this weird looking. It was supposed to be a wall of a padded cell where they put like insane people in those padded cells, and somebody's like a lunatic. You know what I mean? Wow. So he was telling me that they actually, like when you rent a U-Haul or U-Haul to move somewhere, and they give you those cushions to put in between like certain pieces of furniture so the furniture won't break.
Yes.
They actually used one of those U-Haul cushions for the back of the album cover instead of to make it look like it was a insane asylum like cell. But that was before they had any money, So the point is, you're talking about independent artists. Well, they were, they just got signed, but they didn't see the money at all for anything yet. So that's what they used for their record cover. With a freaking U-Haul cushion to make it look like a wall.
I joke with other independent artists, and we say it all the time, the only thing free for an artist is writing the song. Everything after that, watch out. Now to record the song, you got to pay for that. Now to mix a song, got to pay for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to put the song out now? Distribution, got to pay for that.
Yep.
Oh, the song's getting some traction. Okay, well you need a music video, got to pay for that.
Really, the best thing to do is try to find somebody who has some faith in you and get a sponsor and somebody can help you out financing some of your stuff.
But
that's tricky, man.
Even that's not free because they want to cut.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Or they're going to want their money back at some point.
Correct.
Just depends on who it is. All right, so let's talk about your song, "I'm Coming Over." I listened to it. I really enjoyed it. I want to know about a little bit about the song. I mean, I read up on it a little bit, but tell my listeners what the backstory is. And I like the fact that it used to be a rap song that you redid into that song. So talk about that.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna show my age in this one. I mean, I'm not old, but I've been at this music scene for like 20 something years.
Okay.
And, back in like 07-ish, at the time, me, one of my closest friends up to this day, he had his own studio, everything. So he was the producer, and he was also a rapper as well. So he had his own everything, his record label, everything.
Uh-huh.
So he was there making a beat, and he was like, "Damany, I heard something for this." So he gave me the concept, and I was like, "This is dope. Like, let's do it." Now, the first draft of that song, we thought was pretty cool, but his girlfriend, now wife, they've been together like 20 something years.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, if a concept comes out that she doesn't like, she'll literally say like, "This is trash. This is trash."
Yeah.
She's very honest with us. She's not gonna just tell us that it's good because it's us. She'll look at us like, "Do this over. This is trash.
Okay.
I'm going to the kitchen. When I come back, you better be." Like, she's joking around, but she's being serious at the same time. So,
Right.
we had to have her P's and Q's when it comes to putting out decent content. So the song came out pretty good. It's just we never got a chance to actually finish and put it out because life happens. At the time, you had to go back to school, especially life happened. So we never got a chance to do it. But I like the concept so much that years later, I'm like, you know what I told him? I'm like, I'm writing a song showing homage to the song that we did. So when I wrote it and recorded it, and I played it for him, he gave me the thumbs up, like, this is cool. Like, I approved this, sir. This is pretty cool. Yeah. So, and he's a big critic as well. So if it was trash, he would tell me it's trash. He's told me some of my songs way back, like, yeah, Damany, this is good, but you could have done this better. Like, I appreciate people that are, because nobody likes a yes man. Artists of all genres, when you put out any type of music, like, you don't want yes men around you, like your team. Like, if something is off, like, I would like somebody to tell me. Don't just tell me this is good and it's bad.
That was the first thing that came to my mind when you talked about that girl. That was now it's his wife. When you said that, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is you actually need somebody like that in your life. You got to have somebody that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Correct, because I don't take anything offensive. Because if you're putting out any type of art, I don't care if it's a drawing, music, anything out there that you created, you can't be sensitive because,
right.
Something a producer told me a long time ago. My same boy, the same one I did the "I'm Coming Over" song with.
Yep.
And up to this day, I use his advice. He says, "Damany, like, it doesn't matter what other people say. As long as you think it's dope, that's all that matters." It's like, at the same time, if it's constructive criticism, take it, but don't take it personal.
Yep, that's good. That's true.
But in today's demographic, everybody's sensitive.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's another podcast. we could talk 2 hours about that topic.
Right? Like, come on, like, oh, this sucks. Like, you're gonna be in your feelings. Like, all right, like, they don't like it. Hell, there's songs Michael Jackson did that people didn't like.
Yeah.
But they ended up being mega hits. So
not many.
Everybody's cup of tea, and you have to learn that, no matter how good you are.
I personally never heard a Michael Jackson song that I didn't like, but yeah, I get your point.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, I know.
And I look to these people with a side head like, huh?
Yeah.
And their reasonings were so stupid, but I'm not going to get into that. But
yeah, man, I feel you.
He was too loud on that part. Like, he sounded too much like a girl on that part. What? Say what?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I think Michael Jackson, other than, obviously we lost him too young in life, and he did have his childhood stolen from him. That's why he was the way he was as an adult. He missed his childhood pretty
Absolutely.
much. But Jesus, did you talk about a brilliant artist?
Absolutely.
Just incredible. So if anybody's criticizing Michael Jackson as far as musically,
I'm definitely trash. Then I'm definitely trash. Definitely. I'm not even the same atmosphere as on Michael Jackson. So, once I realized people judge him, even Prince, his industry rival, he's a genius. So, if people saying that their stuff is trash, that's why I don't take things personally.
Yeah, you can't.
well, Damany, I like this song more than this one. And I'm like, I appreciate it. I even thank them. Even if somebody, all right, I'll give you an example. One of my songs, I put out another song, and on the comments, he literally said, "This is trash."
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me at all. I literally messaged him and said, "You know what? Thank you. I appreciate all comments."
Yeah.
Because in his mind, it's bad, but maybe that keeps me in my peace and key. You don't always want to see, "Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it."
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that. That.
It's also
energy.
good to keep it high road too. Like I'll give you an example. I'm in a film. It's called The House in Between. It's a film documentary film. And we put a lot of hard work into it. And it went number one on iTunes charts for like 17 weeks on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And occasionally you'll get trolls and you'll get people who just want to just leave nasty, like ugly comments, right? So I learned one of the best rebuttals you can give somebody, and you can use this in music too. Like if somebody just like says like your song is trash or whatever, what I say to those people that are just nasty in the comments, I'll say, because basically you want to take the bullets away from them, right? You want to use kindness and you want to get out in front of it. That's how I look at it. So I'll say, "I'm sorry the film did not meet your expectations, but thank you for watching." It's just a dagger in somebody, because if they rebut that with something nastier, they look like a complete idiot at that point. Everybody just looks at them like, "Oh, this person's just a jackass." You know what I mean? Because I've taken the bullets away from them. You know what I mean? I've taken the bullets out of their gun. I thanked them kindly for watching it, and I apologize to them. I'm sorry the film didn't meet your expectations. So you suck the air, the oxygen out of the room doing that. So
yeah, I mean, and I did something similar. Exactly. Like although he left a negative comment, I'm like, I appreciate it. Thanks. I appreciate all comments. So that's
exactly.
Because
exactly.
one thing I've learned, because I read a lot of like books and audios to help strengthen the mind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
By the time when people go out their way to say something negative or leave something negative, it says more about them than it does about you.
Mm-hmm. And some people that do that, like I was just joking like with one of my colleagues that's in the film with me. We were laughing at that because we just posted the film in a new Facebook group. It's got like 200,000 group members, So, and we posted the film in there and the link to it, and then we had like 99% was like really great comments, right? But then there's that one or two people that just come in there and they just like pee all over the parade. You know what I mean? And it's like I was joking with my colleague. I was like, you know what? I bet that lady kicks her dog for no reason. She probably comes home from work and just kicks the dog across the living room for no reason.
I wouldn't be surprised.
People can be so miserable, man. It's funny. All right, so was there a video for your song for "I'm Coming Over"? You have a video for it?
Yes, sir. There's a video for it.
Well, tell me about the video. Where'd you guys record it? How did it come about? Tell me about that.
Oh, the video shooting?
Yeah.
Wow. It started as a disaster, actually.
Okay.
We were supposed to start filming at 7. This was on the location of Fort Lauderdale Beach, Los Olas.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And we were supposed to start shooting at 7. So me and the video director, we were trying to go to the first side of the shoot, like on a rooftop that we never got a chance to record on, by the way. So when we got there was an event. So he was pissed. He was like, "Damn, I really wanted to record here." So, now granted, let me back up. We're supposed to start at 7, so he's telling me, "Damany, we have 2 hours to shoot the beginning, but 9 o'clock the model comes. So we have to finish all this before 9 o'clock." So now back to the story. So when we got, like I said, the rooftop, was preoccupied because there's an event, like a big event. So we had to drive like about 45 minutes looking for an area that's not too crowded because, like I said, there was a big event. So now it's like an hour went by, an hour and a half. So by the time when we finally found a location to shoot the first shot, it was like 8:15, 8:30.
Oh man.
He was pissed. So he's like, "Damn, like, all right, we gotta get back to the Airbnb because the model's gonna be pulling up any second, and she's only here for about an hour or two because we paid her for 2 hours. So hour and a half, no shoot. So we had to go back to the Airbnb. The punchline is coming, trust me.
I'm listening.
So we get back to the Airbnb. We got back there about 8 on time, like about 8:40, 8:45. Now remember, the model's supposed to be coming at 9.
Yep.
So 8:55 comes, no model. 9:05 comes, no model. 9:20 comes, no model. So the now at this point the director is like, really, bro? So he's like, you know what, Damany, I paid this woman for 2 hours. If I don't get my 2 hours, she's not getting her full pay. That's what he kept saying to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair play.
So he was saying, I'm going to keep it professional, though. I'm not going to mess the night up, but I'm going to kindly let her know that she's not going to get it. So now, 9:40 comes, here she comes through the door. Now, with all that being said, even when she came, the moment she stepped foot into the Airbnb, she was the sweetest woman I've ever met. She was very professional, very open-minded, anything the director wanted. Like, there's very few models that are like that. So we finally started the first shot at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Right? We were supposed to start at 7.
Did she explain why she was so late?
To be honest, me and the director didn't care. Like,
Yeah, you just wanted to get it over with?
We just didn't care.
Yep.
So we didn't find out. But the optimistic side, because I like to look at the optimistic side of everything. She was a pleasure to work with. It was my first video.
Oh, cool.
Shoot, so I'm already nervous, and she made it very, very, very comfortable for me.
There you
very
go.
comfortable. So yeah, the first shot was at 10 o'clock, and we didn't finish until 2 o'clock
In the morning.
So 7 to 2.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Yeah.
A long shoot, man.
So, but it came out wonderful. There's certain shoots we couldn't get because it started raining.
Yeah.
So we didn't get the rooftop scene that he wanted, that he was very pissed about, and we didn't get like certain scenes by the car because it was raining. But I just told him, look, man, life happens. Okay, bro, just do the best you can. Like, be great. Because the one thing I told him was, although I'm an artist and I write songs and I record, like, you're also an artist. So I was like, because he kept asking me, do you want the video a certain way? I was like, bro, be great. It's okay. Like, I'm not gonna tell you, this sucks and this sucks. Put your creativity on it, and we go from there. So he appreciated it, and I love that the video came out perfectly.
That's awesome, man. That's good, man. I mean, it's important that chemistry is good. Like the model, you guys, you were smart by taking the high road with the model, because she's there to obviously she's probably very beautiful. And you want the chemistry to be right for the shoot, because the fans and the viewers, they'll pick up on it if somebody's pissed off in there and they're not really giving it their all. A lot of people can pick up on that. So it's just better where everybody's just relaxed.
That's what I wanted to say before I forget it.
Yeah, man.
She was booked from 9 to 11 because she said she had to leave because she had another shoot to go to by 11:30. So what I loved about her is she knew she was late. She didn't complain. She stayed till 11:30, 11:45 till we were done. Then she went to her shoot. She didn't complain.
Professional. Very professional on her part.
Right. So me and the director really appreciated that. Like she pleasure to work with. Now, this is funny to me. I don't know if it's going to be funny to you, but it's funny to me. Since it was my first video shoot, she asked a question to the director. She's like, all right, on this part, do you want me to hug him or straight? I forgot what she asked. So I then said to her, I was like, I also have a question. I was like, just let me know what I can and can't do. And she got me. She's like, boy, I'm a whole professional, because she's been in other videos. She's been in like Chris Brown's video and Tory Lanez's video.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I've seen her resume. So she's like, boy, I'm a whole professional out here. Like, if you want to grab my butt, you can. Like, it's okay. So I literally looked her straight in the eyes and the director's eyes, and I said, no, like, because I got niece and also got goddaughter and mom. Mom's gonna be watching this.
Yeah.
So they both laughed. They're like, all right, no problem. But she was a sweetheart to work with.
I love that, man. That's great. That's probably why she's in Chris Brown videos. You have to be professional too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so she knows how to work the camera. That's one thing I was telling the director, because when I was watching the video and just taking it all in, I was like, his name's Lincoln. I was like, Lincoln, like, she knows how to walk, how to look at the camera, how to look away from the camera.
Yeah.
She was amazing. You can tell that she's a professional. So, amazing young lady. Like, I have nothing negative to say about her, other than the fact that she was an hour and some change late. She was like, oh,
yeah, she made up for it.
But other than that, she was cool.
So I read that you're from Jamaica. Now, were you born in Jamaica?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How old were you when you left Jamaica and came over to the States?
It's a interesting story. I was born in Jamaica, but at 4 years old, I moved to New York.
Yep.
But I stayed about 2 years, but life happens. My mom was like, you need to go to Jamaica. So went to Jamaica at 6, and then came to Florida when I was 10. And been in Florida ever since. Visited like summer and Christmas and spring break and stuff like that to Jamaica, but
Yeah.
I lived in Florida 20-something years.
Yeah, you bounced around a little bit when you were real young, but you kind of settled in there on that second trip back. All right, so when I was reading up on you and researching and reading your bio, a couple things you said that I really caught my attention that I liked. One of them, you were talking about different artists to listen to when you have like lady friends over.
Right.
Each of them kind of bring different things to that table. And you mentioned that back in the day we had more options as far as artists to pick. When I totally when I read that, I was like, all right, this cat's probably in my age bracket or close to it, and that just related to me so hard, man. Because you're right. I mean, you nailed that. So give me more. Talk to me more about that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an '80s baby, and I grew up on. I feel bad for the kids now that love R&B but can't get it. But yeah, back then, take your pick. Even the women knew how to make sexy songs for the ladies when they have a guy coming over. So for the guy side, I can name 20 artists, but I'm just gonna keep it very brief.
Right.
You got the H-Towns of the world. You got Jodeci. You got 112. You got Jagged Edge. You got Babyface. You got so many artists to pick from. But for the girls, if they have a guy coming over, if they wanted to set the ambiance, they got Cut Close. They got SWV. They got Escape. They got Brandy. They got Monica. They got plethora of different artists. Whitney Houston. They got Faith Evans. My baby coming over, I'm putting on these women in this order, and we're gonna get the move right. Nowadays, and again, I don't knock the youngins, express yourself, because writing music and making music is about expressing yourself.
That's right.
I don't ever want to take that away. But nowadays, Brad, when I talk to my god kids and my niece and stuff, I'm like, man, that singer is dope. That's not a singer, that's a rapper. Well, all right. That rapper is dope. That's not a rapper, that's a singer. Well, all right. I don't know who's a rapper and who's a singer nowadays, because I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the closest thing to R&B, the generation could put on right now is, and this is no knock to him, this is actually showing his greatness, is Drake. Because Drake could go into the rap, and then he could go into the melodic field. But I think I speak for vocalists when I say, he's not really a vocalist like that. He could hold a tune. But at the same time, that's who you put on. If you have a girl coming over, So you have your handful of soul artists like the Giveons, love them. You have Daniel Caesar, love him. And you have Lucky Day, love him. But I could count on one hand, maybe two, the male artists, Miguel, Tank. But again, that's only 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mainstream, and versus the women now, there's 15 to 20 women that's doing R&B. So the men versus the women R&B, it's lopsided type thing.
Great point. I read that, I was like, yes, I can relate to that hard, man. But while you were talking, you know who popped in my head who I really, really like? And he's somebody that gives me hope. That's Bruno Mars. Because Bruno Mars, first of all, I really appreciate good singers that play instruments, too.
Correct.
And not only that, but his stage performance, his stage presence is crazy.
Yes.
And so
he's a genius.
He is, man. He is. I really, and the more I listen to him, because I just started listening to Bruno Mars about maybe 5-6 years ago. And so then I started reading up on him, and then, I started buying his stuff. And just so talented, man. I was like, yeah, this guy gives me hope for the future as far as, going forward the next 30, 40 years of music.
Right. Because it's funny you bring him up, because I was actually talking to a friend about him. And I was like, what did, people yearn for Silk Sonic. People have been yearning for that, and he's not doing anything different. He's just bringing back the '60s and '70s vibe.
Right.
And all he's doing, and people are eating it up and acting like it's new. Well, the newer generation, not the more mature generation. But I'm like, people want to hear that type of grown, sexy music. But it's just when you have the labels and record execs telling artists, well, people don't want to hear this. They want to hear this. Like, but how do you know that? You don't know that. Like, I believe like you should give artists, the freedom to create what they want to create.
100%. Bruno Mars can put 50,000 people in a stadium. So obviously,
just singing the ABCs. By the way, like, you know what? Tonight, guys, I'm just going to be singing the ABCs. And some nursery rhymes, and still kill the show.
I'll tell you a quick cool story. Obviously, Prince. You've heard of that guy. He actually, a few years before he passed away, he surprised everybody. You know that TV show, The View?
Yes.
Okay, so
I saw that show when he was on there.
Did you see when he surprised even the hosts? Whoopi, everybody was surprised when he walked out. Like everybody, nobody knew he was coming. Do you remember the part where he talked about where Barbara? I think it was Barbara Walters. She told him that they had Justin Bieber on their show, and she told Prince how Justin was speaking so highly and kindly of Prince and how Prince was an inspiration for him. And Barbara Walters asked Prince, is there anything you want to say about Justin Bieber? And Prince kind of smiled and said, he's a great talent. I just wish he would pick up an instrument. And and he didn't say it in a condescending way. He was just being truthful that he sees the talent in Justin Bieber, but he basically was making my point about it's just great to see singers with talent with no instruments also. And obviously Prince is a brilliant, I think he played like 12 instruments.
15.
15, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to share that little part. That's always stuck with me.
And the 90s version of Prince, and I wish this guy stayed healthy because he's still a legend.
I know.
But you already know what I'm going to say. It's D'Angelo. Like, had he stayed consistent, like he could play the guitar, the drums, the keyboards, and his style. And he's the father of neo soul.
Yeah, man.
He's the father of neo soul. So because of him, you have the Music Soul Childs of the world. Matter of fact, Music Soul Child spoke about him.
Yeah.
Inspiring him, and so his greatness is amazing. Even the singer Her. I saw a clip of her meeting D'Angelo, and she was just in awe, like, you know what, thank you, like, your big inspiration, stuff like that. But, I just wish he had stayed, consistent. Again, life happens. It does happen, so probably life got him. But, to me, he's a 90s, 2000 version of Prince.
That's a great analogy. It's a good comparison. And it's amazing how many brilliant musicians we lost because of the freaking drugs, man. And some of it was like in Prince's case, I think it was opioids and pills and things like that. And then, of course, some of them are like we just lost the drummer from the Foo Fighters, the rock band.
Yes.
They found him dead in a hotel room, and they found a bunch of drugs in his system too. It's just horrible. So much talent gets taken away because musicians, some of them gets mixed up, and they become dependent upon alcohol or drugs, and it just ends their lives way early. So many. I can lose count just in the last 10 years.
Absolutely. And the sad thing is, and I'm just taking a stab in the dark. This is just my assessment. I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But that's why, they probably didn't have a great team around them, because a lot of times when you have a great team, they'll tell you, Brad, put that down. Like, get yourself together. Let's do this, man. Like, you need to talk. Come on. Like, when you're in the spotlight and, you reach to the levels of the Foo Fighters, like, you don't know who to trust and who's really your friend. That's the sad part.
Especially when
that's where a lot of artists go into depression, because you're the top of your game, but then this person is being nice to you. But are you being nice to me because
money?
I'm me, or are you being nice to me because, for example, I'm the drummer of the Foo Fighters?
Right. Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson, the fighter, the heavyweight champion back in the day. He said something that really makes sense. He said one day, when I had $300 million in my account, I had 300 million friends, basically. He said, when I had $30 in my account, I had like 3 friends. And he goes, and those 3 friends who I want by my side for the rest of my life.
Right.
You know, and it just makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So there's pros and cons to being at the top of your game.
100%.
Especially a team. Like, even if they're not your friends, quote unquote, you still need a team to let you know, like, Brad, that's a bad idea. That's bad for your brand. Brad, you shouldn't be doing this, because, that's going to look bad in the press. Brad. Like, you need people to tell you, hey, no.
Yep.
We spoke about this. No.
Everybody needs your producer's wife, somebody like that, to say that's trash if it's trash.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need somebody.
Right.
All right, let's jump back on your
like
career
Chris
here.
Brown. Chris Brown has a great team.
Yeah.
His whole career, he has a great team. Bruno Mars, great team.
Yep.
His PR, whoever their PRs are, like, in their team, amazing. Because I'm pretty sure they're in the air, like, bro, like, no.
Chris Brown definitely has a great one, because even when he was slipping and making trouble for himself, his team was able to damage control and get him out of a lot of those jams, because he still sells a ton of records and sells out concerts and stuff. So
I'm not even going to talk about Drake. Same thing. Drake's team, amazing.
Yeah, man. All right, so what about 2022 going forward? I mean, you dropped this song, you got the video out. What do you want to get done before the end of this year?
Well, as we speak, I'm working on releasing another song in the next week and a half. It's an angry song. It is. I usually talk about, sexy situations and love and making love and let's get together. But I actually have a song coming out called Fuck Love.
Okay.
And again, I was not going to release that. And the only reason why I'm releasing it is because, all right, my engineer that's been recording me since 2010, like, he's recorded all my stuff. Out of all my songs, like, after I finished recording that song, he stopped the song after, we did the playback.
Yep.
And he looked at me straight in my eyes and said, Damany, that is the hardest song you ever did.
Oh.
I think you should do something with that, because I originally was not going to release that song. I just recorded it just to get some pain off my chest and some, just to curse these women out real quick.
Yep.
And then be done with it, But he was like, no, like, I understand that, Damany, but, like, no, like men and women, because I didn't put it specifically for women. I just spoke very vaguely, so it relates to both men and women type thing, like the stuff I was saying. So he was like, Damany, both men and women will relate to this. You should release this. So
right, correct.
I told him, I was like, this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I recorded a song about 2 years ago. So he was telling me, Damany, I'm telling you, you should do something with that song. So after long consideration, Brad, I was like, all right, let me consider it. So that's the next song coming out. Is that, and I have for this year, this 2022, I plan to release at least, including F Love, like three more songs. So building my catalog is my is my goal right now for 2022. That's the number one thing an artist has to have, because if you have a decent catalog, I'm not just talking about quantity. I'm talking about quality songs.
Yep.
The way show promoters look at that is, man, Brad has some decent songs. He has about 8-10 songs, and all of them are pretty good. So you're negotiating for arenas and slot times, etc. Goes up when you have a decent catalog. So just building my catalog and building my fan base.
A decent catalog, a decent catalog, a good fan base, and the more streams, obviously, the better. Because then when the big acts come to your city and they're looking for an opener, that stuff's vetted, man. They'll look at that, to see if you can bring some people in there and sell some local tickets to the show. That's just business, man. That's the way it rolls. All right, man. We've been doing this for about over half an hour. I definitely want to make sure of two things before we wrap it up. The first thing, the second thing I'm going to do is let you tell everybody where they can follow you and get your music. Before we get to that, is there anything as far as promotion-wise that you want to talk about? Any other song? You just mentioned that song you're going to release soon. But is there anything else you want to touch on before we put the final touch on this interview?
You know what? This is how life works, right? Watch me say, for another song, watch me say no, but when I get off the phone, I'm going to be like, Tom, you know what? I should have.
That happens all the time, man.
And that's the way life is. But Right now, just F Love. After F Love, I'm gonna be releasing a song called Sweetest Touch, but that's down the line, like for summer, because I need a summer banger. But to follow me, YouTube, Damany Tulla, and that's Damany, my first name, and my last name Tulloch for my YouTube. You could follow me on TikTok, Soul_84. That's SOUL troll TROLL_84. And matter of fact, let me make sure. I might be saying the TikTok wrong. Hold on, let me.
That's all right. No rush, man. Take a look at it. I'll put the link in there in the lead-in article too.
My apologies. No underscore. It's just SOUL TROLL84 for my TikTok. And my Instagram is very easy. It's just Damany_84.
Awesome. I'll make sure.
Those are my socials, pretty much.
And I'll make sure I put the links in the lead-in article. And I enjoyed talking to you. You're very talented.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to having you back too. When you got some more stuff you want to talk about, just let Teresa know over at Starlight. We'll get you back on 100%.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure meeting you, Brad. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing, man.
You do the same. I really enjoyed talking to you, man. Have a good night, all right?
All right, you too, sir.
Take care, bud.